Welcome back, student. Let us continue the properties of metal. In last session we studied about the 5 properties of metals. So those that only we are going to continue here. The next property of metal is metals have a high tensile strength. Now what do you mean by the high tensile strength? The high tensile strength, it means that they have the capability to hold the very high weight of things. It means the bridges, the poles, even the rods which we can see, which are made up of iron metal. Okay, iron metal. So why does they have the capability? Because they have the property of high tensile strength. It means they are usually heavy in weight. The iron metal which we are using for the preparation of these, we are using that thing in the form of steel. That's why the iron is having the very good high tensile strength, or they can hold the very high weightage. That's why the iron metal mostly used to construct the bridges, machines and many things. If the chains are there, the things which can hold the heavy weight. Even if you go to the factory, when the properties are loading from one truck to another, it is in heavy weight, so they are using the chains for holding it or carrying it, for pulling all those things. Is it clear? So from these we can understand that the metals are having high tensile strength. But not all the metals, there are some exceptions also there. If you go or see the sodium and potassium metal, which are very having the low density or low tensile strength. Low tensile strength, it means they are very soft, you can hold it in your hand also, but that's not easy. That they are very light in weight. See, what is the color of the sodium? Sodium is having the silver gray color, and it is usually stored in a kerosene, because when it come to expose to the air, it starts burning. It means they are showing the exothermic process. Is it clear? Sodium is very vigorously reacting with the air, because in air oxygen is present, so it starts reacting very vigorously. That's why sodium are always be stored in a kerosene. This is not the property, but I am telling you the extra knowledge for it. Sodium, if we try to cut the sodium and potassium with the knife, it is easily be cutting, but when you are going to pick up that piece you have to take it with the pair of tongue or spatula is there. With the help of that only you can carry and hold it. See, when you go to the graduation level in the inorganic or organic, there are practicals, some of the tests like litmus paper and also among them about the metal. When you are going to study, one test is also there, sodium metal test. Then you are going to directly familiar with the sodium, that what kind of sodium it is, how to handle it, and all this you are going to study in the next classes. Okay, so did you understand that how the tensile strength it is? Next topic is metals are solid at room temperature. See, almost all the metals are solid at room temperature. Gold is a metal, it is solid at room temperature. Silver is a metal, that is also solid at a room temperature. Iron is there. Is it clear? Aluminium is there. All these are metals and they are solid at room temperature. But mercury is only the metal which is in a liquid state at room temperature. They cannot show the solidified property. Liquid metal which is mercury. Mercury एक ऐसा metal है जो liquid form में होता है. Among the periodic table, only the mercury metal, bromine is also there, but mercury is the metal which is in a liquid state. Then why does it not showing the property at solid at a room temperature? Mercury solid क्यों नहीं होता room temperature पे? See, mercury is a bad sharing holder. Electrons, mercury जो है वो electrons की sharing नहीं करता, because the electrons which are present in the shell of the mercury, they are very tightly packed. That's why it is not able to share the electrons. That's why they are liquid in the room temperature only. Is it clear? Now come to the next point, that is metals are having high melting and boiling point. See, metals are hard, they have a high tensile strength, they are solid at room temperature. so automatically they having the high melting and boiling point. Is it clear? If you take the example of iron, it's having a melting point 1535 degrees Celsius. Is it clear? Why does it so? It take much more degree Celsius temperature for melting, because the molecules or the bonding between that iron molecules is so strong, and it needs much more energy to break down it. That's why the melting point of that iron is too much. Is it clear? But if you take the sodium, sodium is soft metal, even the potassium is also. So that sodium metal and potassium metal melts below the 100 degrees Celsius. When we did the experiments during our MSc classes, we are putting that sodium metal in the capillary tube. Small tube is there, in that we are putting, and we are holding on it. What does it so? It melts very immediately. Within fraction of second it starts melting. So the sodium and potassium are the metal. They are exceptional cases which having the very low melting and boiling point. Except them, remaining all the metals, if you go through them, they all are having the high melting and boiling point. Is it clear? Now, metals have a high density. High density, it means in our local language we can say that उनका वजन बहुत होता है. They have a high density. We can't hold it. If iron metal, if we take, it is 7.8 gram per centimeter cube. Its weight is. But sodium and potassium, having the low density. Is it clear? Next is, metals are sonorous. Sonorous matlab sound. They are vibrating the sound. If we start to bend them, very good example, our school bell. School bell is also made up of the metal only. When it belling, the tune of your school, when it starts applying the force, it creates the sound, and due to that sound only we can understand that the lecture is over. Is it clear? So that sound, it is at the one corner of our school, but we can hear that sound to the another or each and every corner of our school. Why does so? Because the vibrations of that sound come towards us and then we can hear it. Why does it so? Because the metals are having the sonorous property. It means they can give the sound, or they can create the sound. That's why the bell and other sonorous things we are using. If we take the musical instruments, instruments are also, see, the orchestra set, we know that orchestra set, okay? In that orchestra sets, the music trumpets and are there, congos are there, all are made up of these metals only. Why? Because they are making the sound, they are sonorous, they can create the sound. That's why they can include it in the musical instrument. If we take the guitar, the string of that guitar, the wire of the guitar which is above on the side of the guitar, that is also making the sound. Guitar only played due to that string only. If the string are spoiled, it never be create the sound. So that strings also are made up of the metals. Understood? That's why for the musical instruments also we are using this metal. Then metals usually have the silver or grey color. See, if you take the copper example, copper is reddish brown in color, okay, and gold is yellow color. Except these two, all the metals are showing the grayish brown color, silver or grey color. Is it clear? Copper is having reddish brown color, gold is having yellow color, but remaining the metals having the silver or grey color. Is it clear? Now, if we think and if you try to make the list, how many metals are around us, what are the things which are made up of the metals, if we try to make it, the list is not going to be end, because each and everything around us are completely made up of metal. So along with it, we completed the 11 properties of metal, and you have to go through it because this is the basic concept about the metals. When you go to the upper classes, based on these properties only, you can differentiate the metals into different groups. So be careful and read it very carefully. Is it clear? Now in next session we are going to study about the non-metals. See you later after a short break.